Welcome. I will be your virtual game master, or GM for short, and I will referee this text-based, single-player, multimedia-enhanced role-playing game, RPG. BrowserQuests is a single-player, persistent world RPG that reads almost like an interactive novel, yet developed with the basic fantasy RPG old-school rules system, and modified for online play. So you're aware, this is not an action RPG. There is no flashy, 3D animated graphics here or controllable characters to run across the screen. It's also not a massively multiplayer game where you interact with other players. Instead, BrowserQuests relies on a slower pace to tell a more compelling, heroic, multimedia-enhanced story using the following elements: literary prose, the text you're reading now, static AI-generated graphic depictions, large, detailed maps of the current location, inspiring, original background music, browser-based narration, if desired. The goal of BrowserQuests is to simulate the traditional GM-led, tabletop, pencil and paper role-playing experience, doing so through a modern browser connected to the internet. Hence, it's just you, me, some virtual dice and lots of imagination. Let's begin by developing your very own custom player hero. This hero will represent you within the game. Other heroes will come and go within your party, but your hero will always remain and always be in control. I will have you select a race, class, some ability and behavior scores, a gender, a graphic avatar and finally a name. Once you're done, you will then be able to start the game in earnest. Work your way down the left side of the panel below to create your new hero. When you're done, click the Create New Hero button in the bottom right corner to complete the process. Now that you've created your own custom hero, you can proceed. Just click the blue Create New Hero button below to continue. Or, if you're not happy with this hero, use the controls to the left to go back and create a new one. Nicely done. You now have a new hero created, the leader of an adventuring party you will soon build around yourself. Before we begin, note the Leave GMA message button at the bottom of your browser. While the game has been designed to be as intuitive to play as possible, don't hesitate to click the button if you have any trouble. Put another way, the online GM is virtual, a large, web-based computer program, but your messages can be sent to a real GM, the actual developer of BrowserQuests, who will respond as quickly as possible. Now, one final question, how much experience do you have with traditional role-playing games? Have you ever played a tabletop, GM-driven, pencil and paper RPG like Dungeons & Dragons Registered or basic fantasy RPG before? Choose an option. I'm quite familiar with all that. I have a little experience. GM? RPG? Huh. What? Well, then, all of this will seem super intuitive to you. I will describe your current encounter, you consider what you want to do and then click the appropriate response option. There is more to the game than just that, of course, but in a nutshell, we will simply go back and forth like we're having a conversation. Sound okay? We're ready to play. Click the Start Campaign button and we will jump into the game's very first encounter. Orphaned as a baby by parents you never knew, you were raised here within the human village of Tabin, located in the southwestern corner of the country of Pirapa, itself one of 60 or so countries that comprise the continent of Mariga of this fantasy world known as Sycilis. There are, of course, other continents within the world, but this campaign won't utilize any of them, everything will take place here on the continent of Mariga. As an orphan and outsider, the people here in Tabin never cared for you much and so your upbringing has been challenging and even painful, especially if you're not human. In general, the people of Mariga are closed-minded, convinced that the Sislan utopia, the last 10 centuries of supposed bliss, is coming to an end, and that only hard times now lie ahead. But in that difficult childhood, you may have learned some valuable lessons as well. Looking back on it all, what do you think was most important to you? Choose an option. Diplomacy, using words to get what you want, honor, always doing the right thing, tolerance, being open to other points of view. The honor score for Janet remains the same, sure, always keeping your behavior in check, doing everything asked of you and following the law to the letter helps steer you down what otherwise would have been a rocky and even dangerous path, potentially earning you a small bonus to your honor behavior. So yes, you persevered, and as you neared adulthood you became an adventurer, training at the local guild this past year. Having now just graduated, your first order of business is to equip yourself here at the Tabin Merchant. Standing there, let's do a spirit check on your hero to see what you may be feeling. I will roll a virtual 20-sided die and compare that to your spirit score. If the die roll is less than or equal to your spirit score, the check is a success, otherwise, it's considered a failure. Note that there are 9 different behaviors in the game, as well as 6 different abilities, so we will be doing this regularly. In fact, there are all kinds of checks in the game, part of that role-playing experience. Needing a 13 or less from Janet, a 16 was rolled. Failure, the training you've endured this past year was hard and you're glad it's over. However, you're equally nervous now, as the life of an adventurer will be incredibly challenging. Entering the merchant's shop, you now stand just inside the northwestern door, marked on your map as area number 1. As you can see, there are 2 other areas within the shop, number 2, merchant's storefront and number 3, basement stairway. Feel free to click on those areas for more information. As you move about within the game, I will always provide a custom map like this and label key areas for you to explore. Area number 2, merchant storefront, large and secure, all manner of items, possessions, and adventuring supplies can be purchased and sold here. Area number 3, basement stairway, a worn but secure flight of wooden stairs descends about 20 feet, ending at a normally locked cellar door. Okay, time for you to try something. You should see some buttons and drop-down menus below, which you can interact with to indicate your intent here. For example, click the search object drop-down and select an object to search. Next, try moving to the storefront area so you can interact with the merchant himself. Click the travel to new area drop-down below and select number 2, merchant storefront, Doorway south. Note that you will always use this approach to move to an adjacent area. A simple painting of an older man hangs on the wall here, and is rather pleasant and serene. The man seems like a bit of a rogue but also makes you smile. GM note, like most shops, you will need to buy or sell something first to forward the encounter here. Travel alert, using the doorway, you travel south, taking a few moments to arrive, you step into the merchant's main storefront, a large warehouse of a building where almost anything commonplace can be purchased and sold. However, the merchant himself seems to be an older, angry, unhappy man, looking you over during your first encounter as if thoroughly judging you without even knowing you. Click the Buy Items button to start buying needed items for your many adventures ahead. First time here? Depending on your class, focus on a simple melee weapon such as a dagger, a ranged weapon such as a sling, along with some ammunition, perhaps some leather armor, a shield if you're a fighter or cleric, a few torches and a potion or two of healing. Clerics will also need a holy symbol, while thieves will need a set of thieves' tools, via the tool item type. The merchant moves slowly and methodically, keeping his eyes on you the entire time. You there? The merchant calls after your initial transaction, showing his rotting teeth. Are you human? You better be. I don't serve no stinkin' humanoids here. Choose an option. No, I'm not human. What of it, jerk? Yes, I'm human. The racist question is quite unwelcome, of course. The non-human races are treated with much disrespect these days, and you feel ready to give him a piece of your mind. Come now, father. A woman's voice calls out. Is that any way to treat a paying customer? Turning around, standing there is a young human woman dressed almost like an adventuring thief. The human looks you over from head to toe and smirks before continuing. Ah, and an adventurer, we don't get many of your kind. I don't care what race you are, so long as you have coin and are willing to buy. The name's Rachel, the woman continues, stepping into the large storeroom with you. I live here, he's my father. Pay no attention to how he talks. You chased all those damn rats out yet? The old merchant hollers at his daughter, still quite angry and suspicious. I hate them things. Not yet, you snarky old man. Rachel returns, raising her own voice. I told you, they're a bit much for just a low-level thief like me. I need some help. Choose an option, rats. Yeah, a bunch of normal-sized rats, I think led by a giant mother rat. Rachel answers, holding her hands 4 feet apart to indicate the monster's size. They've been crawling around downstairs for 2 weeks now and we can't get rid of them. The merchant spits out whatever it was he was chewing, the disgusting substance landing in a spittoon on the floor. Rachel pays him little heed, however, as she approaches with an interesting offer. Say, you're one of those fancy heroes from the guild, aren't you, who goes around taking care of problems like this? What say you help me clear out some vermin down in the basement? Choose an option. Disgusting. No way. Let me at them. What's in it for me? Well spoken, Janet. You know the trope, every self-respecting hero must complete an initial giant rat quest, otherwise this wouldn't be a legitimate fantasy RPG. You then ask about a reward, hoping for something significant in return for your services. You'll get nothing and like it? The grumpy old man shouts, almost making you laugh. There is all kinds of stuff here you can have once the deed is done, Rachel offers, the reward seemingly appropriate. I am sure the two of us will be more than a match for the vermin down there. Rachel is willing to join you and form a small adventuring party together. Click the recruit character button to invite her into your party. GM note, Your quest log has been updated. Click the quests button for all the details. Welcome Rachel to your party. Rachel is a level 2 thief and takes her place at your side. Click her profile to learn about her. The stairway down is back where you first entered the building, Rachel continues confidently. It's quite dark down there, so we will need a source of light. Make sure you have a few torches before we go. The old merchant continues to watch suspiciously as Rachel points toward the northern door. You can still buy and sell from the merchant, but nothing more will happen with Rachel until you leave this room and descend the stairway to the north. Janet lost 6 gold pieces. In return, she receives 1 mace. Janet lost 1 gold piece. In return, she receives 1 sling. Janet lost 1 gold piece. In return, she receives 10 ammunition. Janet lost 7 gold pieces. In return, she receives 1 wooden shield. Janet lost 5 gold pieces. In return, she receives 1 holy symbol. Janet lost 50 gold pieces. In return, she receives 2 potions of light healing. Janet lost 1 gold piece. Change made is 2 electrum pieces, 1 silver piece and 5 copper pieces. In return, she receives 3 torches. Travel alert. Using the doorway, you travel north, taking a few moments to arrive. Rachel smiles a bit as she escorts you out, retrieving an old key from a hidden pocket. You've returned to the merchant's main entrance, the stairway down to the cellar just off to the east. You can always return to the merchant's storeroom at any time, but you won't be able to pass through the northern door out into the village of Tobin itself until after the completion of this initial quest. GM note, click the items button to equip your hero's combat items before you proceed. Travel alert, using the stairway, you travel east, taking a few moments to arrive. Rachel readies her worn stone key and quickly unlocks the door. She then nods for the two of you to continue. Janet uses a torch throughout the entire local area, illuminating everything. The new light is barely perceptible within the already lit area, however. Travel alert, using the unlocked door, you travel down, taking a few moments to arrive. Looking about, the walls here are a mix of wooden shelving, heaps of bags and a wide diversity of, well, stuff just lying about. It's as if the merchant has been collecting anything of value for a century and the basement looks more like a maze you will need to negotiate. The air is damp and musty, and occasionally you hear the squeak of a rat in the distance, the culling of which has brought you down here in the first place. The shop has been in the family for 6 generations now. Rachel finally offers as you search the immediate area, finding all kinds of junk but no actual vermin to exterminate. Grandfather, especially, kept everything he could find, barter for or even steal. But none of it was ever worth much. I still wonder what happened to the old coot. You're a bit surprised by Rachel's last comment. It sounds like she really misses her grandfather. Grandpa was a bit of a rebel, Rachel continues with a chuckle. He knew the local lands well, did business with some shady characters and certainly pushed the boundaries. He was a sort of hero to all of us. Then, one day a few years ago, he just vanished. We have no idea what happened, where he went or anything. We suspect he was kidnapped by someone he likely double-crossed some time ago, but who knows? You sense that Rachel still feels something for her grandfather. Let's do an empathy check to see if your hero notices anything further. Needing a 12 or less from Janet, a 18 was rolled. Failure. GM note, your quest log has been updated. Click the quests button for all the details. They say the apple does not fall far from the tree, so to speak. You still don't know much, but it seems Rachel is just like her grandfather, both rogues who don't like authority and are out just for themselves. Paths lead away to the north, east and south, while the stairs will take you back up to the merchant's main floor above. Area number 2. This area has yet to be explored. Travel alert, using the path, you travel north, taking a few minutes to arrive. You've reached the far northwestern corner of the basement, the walls mostly covered in shelves containing all sorts of junk and themselves old and cracking in several places. The air is wet and musty, and your instinct is to not stay here too long. GM note, thieves can check for traps. Click the detect traps button to try doing so. The ceiling appears to be in even worse shape. Careful, it could collapse at any time. However, you also notice something twinkling on the floor amidst the dust and debris in your artificial light. Be careful. Rachel warns. A obvious ceiling trap lies before us. Damn. Rachel exclaims, surveying the partially collapsed ceiling. I told that miserable excuse for a father to get this fixed a year ago. Must I do everything around here myself? Before you do anything more, you will want to help Rachel do something with the ceiling before it collapses down on both of you. Click the Remove Traps button to remove the threat here. Rachel has a 95% chance of disarming traps and rolls a 18 on percentile dice. Success. The obvious ceiling trap here is disarmed and will no longer threaten the party. As you take care of the ceiling, however, you can't help but disturb what appears to be a rat's nest, and the little beasties aren't too keen of your presence. A few normal-sized rats appear along with a giant rat from a small nest on the floor, ready to defend their territory with surprising wrath. Time to earn your keep as a would-be exterminator. Your party is under attack. Menacing your entire party are 3 normal rats and 1 giant rat. It's Janet's turn. What do you want her to do? Janet readies her mace and swings at Giant Rat, needing a 13 to hit. Die roll is a 5, plus 2 to hit. Janet misses Giant Rat. It's Rachel's turn. What do you want her to do? Rachel readies her short sword and swings at Giant Rat, needing a 13 to hit. Die roll is a 2, plus 1 to hit. Rachel misses Giant Rat. Giant Rat attacks Janet with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 18, plus 1 to hit. Giant Rat hits Janet, biting her for 1 point of damage and leaving Janet with 5 hit points. Normal Rat number 2 attacks Janet with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 20, which is an automatic hit and does double damage. Normal Rat number 2 hits Janet, biting her for 3 points of damage and leaving Janet with 2 hit points. Normal Rat number 3 attacks Rachel with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 11. Normal Rat number 3 misses Rachel. Normal Rat number 1 attacks Rachel with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 1, which is an automatic miss. Normal Rat number 1 misses Rachel. GM note: a new combat round has begun. Initiative is rolled, with higher values acting first. It's Rachel's turn. What do you want her to do? Rachel readies her short sword and swings at Normal Rat number 1, needing a 11 to hit. Die roll is a 16, plus 1 to hit. Rachel hits Normal Rat number 1, doing 4 points of damage and defeating it. It's Janet's turn. What do you want her to do? Janet readies her mace and swings at Giant Rat, needing a 13 to hit. Die roll is a 8, plus 2 to hit. Janet misses Giant Rat. Normal Rat number 2 attacks Janet with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 19. Normal Rat number 2 hits Janet, biting her for 1 point of damage and leaving Janet with 1 hit point. Normal Rat number 3 attacks Rachel with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 4. Normal Rat number 3 misses Rachel. Giant Rat attacks Janet with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 8, plus 1 to hit. Giant Rat misses Janet. GM note: a new combat round has begun. Initiative is rolled, with higher values acting first. Rachel uses a potion of light healing on Janet, healing her for 4 hit points. It's Janet's turn. What do you want her to do? Janet readies her mace and swings at Giant Rat, needing a 13 to hit. Die roll is a 17, plus 2 to hit. Janet hits Giant Rat, doing 2 points of damage and leaving it with 3 hit points. Giant Rat attacks Janet with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 5, plus 1 to hit. Giant Rat misses Janet. Normal Rat number 2 attacks Janet with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 10. Normal Rat number 2 misses Janet. Normal Rat number 3 attacks Rachel with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 7. Normal Rat number 3 misses Rachel. GM note: a new combat round has begun. Initiative is rolled, with higher value. Janet readies her mace and swings at Giant Rat, needing a 13 to hit. Normal rat number 3 attacks Rachel with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 19, normal rat number 3 hits Rachel. It's Rachel's turn. What do you want her to do? Rachel readies her short sword and swings at normal rat number 3, needing a 11 to hit. Die roll is a 7. GM note, a new combat round has begun. Initiative, Janet readies her mace and swings at giant rat, needing a 13 to hit. Die roll is a 13, plus 2 to hit. Janet hits giant rat, doing 5 points of damage and defeating it. It's Rachel's turn. Rachel readies her short sword and swings at normal rat number 3, needing a 11 to hit. Die roll is a 18, plus 1 to hit. Rachel hits normal rat number 3, doing 5 points of damage and defeating it. Normal rat number 2 fails a morale check, flees the encounter area and is automatically defeated. Well done. All combatants have been defeated, ending the battle. Each hero receives 10 experience points. You take care of the rats, leaving their small nest open to discovery. Although you've already searched the general area, in a situation like this you can also search just a specific object, in this case, the rat's nest. Click the Search Object drop-down menu and select one rat's nest to give it a thorough search. Searching the nest, you find an old, broken hand mirror which was reflecting your light, a piece of trash that was certainly not worth its recovery. However, you also find a small bracelet, a bit tarnished but worth perhaps 20 gold pieces to the right buyer. Be sure to click the Take Items button to recover the minor treasure. The rat's taken care of, there is little left to do. Paths through all the collected stuff lead away to the south and east. Janet nods and takes the bracelet. Travel alert, using the path, you travel east, taking 5 minutes to arrive. Amidst the many shelves and piles of stuff all about, you've encountered a small collection of large, sturdy burlap sacks, nearly 4 feet high and bulging with something inside. Oh, that's only coal for the winter, Rachel comments, looking over the 5 large sacks. We just received it for this upcoming winter. Keep the torches away, the stuff burns easily. Let's do a curiosity check with your hero to see if you notice anything unusual. Needing a 13 or less from Janet, a 17 was rolled. Failure. Thinking little about the coal, Rachel reminds you that as an adventurer, you should always be looking for items that can be useful in sticky situations, and a piece of coal, and its substantial burning qualities likely fits that bill. Hence, you may want to think about searching the sacks here and grabbing a piece of the black, rocky substance. Who knows where you may need some sustained fire at some point. First asking if it's okay with Rachel, you reach into one of the sacks and retrieve a small brick of coal, stashing it away in your own pack. Rachel smiles and nods her head in agreement before suggesting that you continue on your way. One of the coal sacks now raided, there is nothing more to do here. Paths lead away to the west, east, and southwest. Travel alert, using the path, you travel east, taking a few minutes to arrive, likely marking the far northeastern corner of the merchant basement. You've come across a small cache of weapons and armor. While certainly no blacksmith, the merchant has acquired quite the collection of old swords, axes, polearms, and even a few missile weapons over the years, all stockpiled in this area. Most of the items are in very poor repair, which is likely why the weapons aren't available for sale in the merchant's showroom above. After a thorough search, however, you really don't find anything that's any better than your own current equipment, apart from an intriguing large shield. Further, the stuff does not exactly belong to you anyway. The large, attractive shield seems quite out of place in all the junk, and you wonder why it's here and not for sale above in the merchant's shop. As Rachel continues to sift through all the stuff behind you, what do you do with the shield? Choose an option: leave the shield alone, take the shield. Wise move, Rachel comments to you moments later, apparently watching whether you would actually take the shield or not. It's cursed. Using the shield will only make it more likely for monsters to hit you. Having learned an important lesson, let's reward that action with some bonus experience. Each hero earns 10 experience points. The weapons cache a bust. Time to move on. Paths lead away to the west and south. Travel alert: using the path, you travel south, taking a few minutes to arrive. Several wooden crates full of carefully wrapped and preserved food, perhaps a dozen altogether, stand stacked atop one another here, encased in some sort of cloth to better protect them from spoilage. However, a few of the crates have been knocked over and even chewed into, their contents spilled across the floor. Clearly, the merchant above has a significant rat infestation problem. Your party searches for traps but don't find any. Poking at the fallen crates on the floor, you're not at all surprised to discover a small group of rats having their way with the foodstuffs within. Quite upset at having been discovered, the rats leap at you and attack. Your party is under attack. Threatening all of you are 5 normal rats. It's Rachel's turn. What do you want her to do? Rachel readies her short sword and swings at normal rat number 1, needing a 11 to hit. Die roll is a 12, it's Janet's turn. What do you want her to do? Janet readies her mace and swings at normal rat number 2, needing a 11 to hit. Normal rat number 4 attacks Rachel with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 20, which is an automatic hit and does double damage. Normal rat number 4 hits Rachel, biting her for 3 points of damage and leaving Rachel with 2 hit points. Normal rat number 5 attacks Rachel with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. GM note: a new combat round has begun. Initiative is rolled, with higher values acting first. It's Rachel uses a potion of light healing on herself, healing her for 4 hit points. It's Janet readies her mace and swings at normal rat number 2, needing a 11 to hit. Normal rat number 4 attacks Rachel with its bite, needing a 4. Normal rat number 2 attacks Janet with its bite, needing a. Normal rat number 3 attacks Janet with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. GM note: a new combat round has begun. Initiative is rolled, with higher values acting first. Rachel readies her short sword and swings at normal rat number 4, needing a 11 to hit. Janet readies her mace and swings at normal rat number 2, needing a 11 to hit. Die roll is a 9. Normal rat number 3 fails a morale check, flees the encounter area and is automatically defeated. GM note: a new combat round has begun. Janet readies her mace and swings at normal rat number 5, needing a. Rachel readies her short sword and swings at normal rat number 5, needing a 11 to hit. Die roll is a 9. Well done. All combatants have been defeated, ending the battle. Each hero receives 8 experience points. We make quite the team. Rachel grins. I wish you had come along sooner. The rats are dispatched and you further examine the foodstuffs, counting 3 crates in total that have been damaged and will need to be replaced. Rachel shakes her head, mumbling something about how angry her father will be. There is little more here to do. Paths lead away to the north, northwest and southwest. Janet nods and takes the 10 rations. Travel alert: using the path, you travel northwest, taking a few minutes to arrive. Sitting on several shelves against a wall here are dozens of small, iron-reinforced lock boxes, each requiring a specific key to open. These boxes certainly contain valuables, but you are equally forbidden to search them. I think this is where Father keeps his little treasures, Rachel comments, shaking a few of the boxes to ensure they are indeed secure. I don't even have the keys to open them. You should respect the wishes of the merchant and leave these lock boxes alone. Of course, anything that's locked typically means there is something valuable inside. You can either walk away from the lock boxes or, perhaps, let temptation get the better of you and search the boxes just to see what might be available. Your party searches for traps but don't find any. Likely more curious than you should be, you try opening several of the lockboxes, Rachel watching with a combination of respect and intrigue as well. Suddenly, you tug on yet another lockbox and the mechanism securing the unit breaks, falling into pieces on the floor. The box is now free to open. You give Rachel a look, asking with your eyes whether you should open the box or not. Rachel nods yes, and you give the drawer a slow pull. Inside is a small but ornate dagger, its blade gleaming in the dim light. What do you do? Choose an option: leave the dagger alone, take the dagger. While certainly tempted, you know in your heart that the weapon does not belong to you and you slowly push the drawer back in, apologizing to Rachel for having destroyed the lock. Rachel smiles and indicates that she will let her father know. Let's reward your honesty with some experience. Each hero earns 25 experience points. The remainder of the lockboxes are closed and secure. At a natural intersection within the cellar maze, you can travel any of the 4 cardinal directions. Travel alert: using the path, you travel west, taking a few minutes to arrive. Paths lead away to the north, east and south. Travel alert: using the path, you travel south, taking a few minutes to arrive. Having reached the southwestern corner of the basement, you find several old paintings on the walls and tucked away into the corner here, dusty from years of inactivity. Rachel takes a casual look and confirms that the images portray her immediate family, the young thief showing a slight grin as she looks through the various paintings. The woman then stops at a painting of an elderly man with a cocky smile. "Grandfather?" Rachel whispers with longing and admiration. You step alongside Rachel to get a better look. Her grandfather appears tall, handsome, and proud, someone you'd expect Rachel to be equally proud of. You also notice a unique iron chain around his neck, something he greatly treasured. This was commissioned 5 years before he disappeared, Rachel begins. He was working with some smugglers in the caves north of Tabin. He'd even take me out there with him to work with the men. They were just doing what they needed to feed their families and weren't evil. The comment is surprising. Your response: choose an option. That's one way to look at it. There is no dishonor in survival, they were breaking the law. Recognizing that everyone is entitled to do as they must to survive, you express your tolerance of the situation, commenting that you'd likely do something similar. Rachel appreciates the comment and continues. Then the Sislans discovered their antidote and helped shut down the smuggling activities, claiming the caves as their own. Grandfather continued to serve as the town's merchant above along with my father, until he disappeared about 2 years ago. It's been just my father and me since. Rachel continues to gaze upon the portrait of her grandfather a bit more, then puts the painting away and covers it again, the touching moment over. With little else here to discover, it's time to move on. Paths lead away to the north and east. GM note: searching objects like tables, desks, and altars can reveal hidden items or areas. Travel alert: using the path, you travel east, taking 5 minutes to arrive. As you walk past all of the shelving and supplies lying about near the southeastern corner of the labyrinth-like basement, You notice a disturbed area in the southern wall that appears to have been broken through and is large enough to even crawl through. That's odd, Rachel begins, taking a closer look. I haven't seen that there before. You take a closer look at the hole, 2 feet wide and 2 feet tall, just large enough for something your size to crawl through. As you further examine the hole, you can clearly see that the edges have been chewed, not just cut, and the various droppings on the floor confirm your suspicions. This is how the rats are getting into the cellar. Let's do an intelligence check on the party to see if you notice anything more. Needing a 12 or less from your heroes, a 15 was rolled. Failure. Examining the hole, it soon becomes clear that the wall here is actually a wooden secret door. Rachel feels for the edges around the door, then finds a latch that opens the door to reveal what appears to be a secret room beyond. You can now proceed south through the secret door. You can also travel northwest, north and northeast within the basement as well. Area number 9. This area has yet to be explored. Travel alert. Using the secret door, you travel south, taking a few moments to arrive. Passing through the damaged secret door in the northern wall here, you find what is clearly a hidden chamber, just 20 feet to a side and containing the furnishings of a modest recreation room. The area is quite humid and you hear the trickling sounds of water in the far southeastern corner of the chamber. You'll certainly want to give the room a thorough search. It does not take long to recognize that you've found an apparent safe room, otherwise hidden from the rest of the basement and made for hiding out or for extended stays. Indeed, among the furniture are foodstuffs, several books, some knuckle bones, for playing games of chance and even some woodworking tools for passing the time away. By the looks of things, someone could hide out down here for weeks at a time if necessary. Of course, it's the corpse sitting at the table that piques your curiosity and you soon make your way to it. You make your way to the body at the table, still sitting upright in its chair as if it had died there. Dressed in merchant's garb, the corpse is now a skeleton, the flesh all but gone and its hair lying on the floor, the body sitting up straight in front of a simple dinner table. From what you can initially see, there does not appear to be any means of foul play, which only deepens the mystery. What is noticeable is the unique iron chain lying on the floor alongside the skeleton, and Rachel recognizes the body. Grandfather? Let's do a party constitution check to see if you notice anything more about the skeleton. Needing a 12 or less from your heroes, a 11 was rolled. Success. GM note, your quest log has been updated. Click the quests button for all the details. By the looks of the body, it seems fairly clear that Rachel's grandfather likely suffered some sort of heart attack while hidden away down here. While certainly poignant, it appears that the old man simply died of natural causes, solving the mystery of his disappearance. Holding back tears, Rachel carefully retrieves the iron chain from the floor, holding it to her chest as she relives certain memories of the man inside her head. You found him. Standing behind you is the merchant from above, Rachel's father apparently having followed the two of you down here and now just in time to discover his own father as well. Stunned by the find, the grumpy merchant slowly steps forward and joins the two of you near the skeleton. I had no idea he built himself a safe room, the merchant begins, surprised by it all. He would disappear for days, sometimes weeks, at a time, and nobody knew where he'd go. Doesn't surprise me one bit. Rachel chuckles, a fitting end to her grandfather's wondrous life. He liked his privacy, always wanting to think and scheme. At least we now know nobody got the better of him. Yeah, but what about us? The merchant slowly utters, pointing towards something to the east. Turning to your right, You notice an underground well in the southeastern corner, a convenient source of water for anyone hiding within the room. However, the area around the well has also been turned into an obvious nest for something quite large. Indeed, two bulbous, reddish eyes stare at you from about 20 feet away, a giant mother rat. The monster is several feet long and possesses teeth that can kill a grown human being. So you've found the source of the infestation, the merchant comments, not willing to take another step forward. The two of you need to deal with it. You look to Rachel, unsure of what to do next. Choose an option: attack the monster, flee the chamber, negotiate a reward. Well, you did come down here to take care of the rat problem. Looks like you will have one final boss to deal with. Just head east to take on the giant rat and beat the monster down. Recognizing that the giant rat needs to be dispatched before it can escape down the well, you will need to rush toward the well and large nest to the east. A quick search finds that the shelving have 2 potions of light healing. Janet nods and takes the 2 potions of light healing. Travel alert: using the path, you travel east, taking a few moments to arrive. Reaching the far corner of the chamber, a small brick well stands here, clearly created to draw fresh water from. A nesting area of grasses, plants, and debris rests nearby, an obvious lair for the giant mother rat that has made the secret room its own. Indeed, the beastie isn't happy that you've invaded its territory. You only have a few moments to react before it attacks. Let's do an inventory check to see if you have anything that can help in this situation. GM note: click the Offer Use Items button and select a possession and quantity to resolve the situation. Yes, you do have that block of coal you grabbed from the basement earlier. Since it's flammable, you could set it on fire and hurl it toward the nest. Select something from your inventory to use as a missile against the giant mother rat and set it on fire. Janet offers uses the coal brick and loses it from her inventory. Retrieving the brick of coal from your backpack, you set it afire and hurl it toward the nest. Let's do a dexterity check to see if your flaming coal hits the nest or not. Given that the nest is fairly large and you're fairly close, I will award you a +4 to your dexterity on your D20 roll. Needing an 18 or less from Janet, a 2 was rolled. Success, bingo. The strike is a direct hit, and within moments the nest is on fire. Too preoccupied with you, the giant rat does not realize the immediate danger until the fire is burning it as well, and the creature squeals in pain as it lunges forward, its fur partially on fire. The monster is now directly in front of you. However, it instinctively rolls about trying to put the fire out. You've already significantly damaged the beast, so hopefully the battle will go easier for you. Your party is under attack. About to attack your party is one giant mother rat. Giant mother rat attacks Janet with its bite, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 12, +2 to hit. Giant mother rat hits Janet, biting her for 1 point of damage and leaving Janet with 4 hit points. It's Rachel's turn. What do you want her to do? Rachel readies her short sword and swings at giant mother rat, needing a 13 to hit. Die roll is a 18, +1 to hit. Rachel hits giant mother rat, doing 4 points of damage and leaving it with 1 hit point. It's Janet's turn. What do you want her to do? Janet readies her mace and swings at giant mother rat, needing a 13 to hit. Die roll is a 12, +2 to hit. Janet hits giant mother rat, doing 6 points of damage and defeating it. Well done. All combatants have been defeated, ending the battle. Each hero receives 15 experience points. The combat concluded. The merchant approaches as you bandage your wounds, the old shopkeeper genuinely impressed with both you and Rachel. Well, my oh my, you two make a good team, the merchant begins, surveying the giant mother rat. I really didn't think you could do it. I told you, father, I am more than ready for the life of an adventurer. Rachel exclaims, a little angrier than you would have expected. So, what do you want to do with this mess down here? I will take care of it all, the merchant replies, kicking the mother rat a few times to make sure it's dead. I know people who can help me clean things up. But I want to keep this room a secret, okay? Both you and Rachel nod. The merchant then continues. Let's also keep your grandfather's death a secret, no one need know of what really happened to him. Better that his legend lives on. Moments later, the merchant turns to you, something clearly on his mind. The party's reputation score permanently increases by 1 point. GM note, your quest log has been updated. Click the quests button for all the details. Here, Janet, let me reward you with this, it's been in our family for generations, and I think you've earned it. Resting in the merchant's hand is an ornate dagger, unnaturally shiny and likely magical. He hands the possession to you, and with Rachel's affirmative nod you secure the +1 dagger, your first real treasure. Rachel gives you that cocky grin you've come to expect and steps to you, ready to lead you back to the surface. See? I think we do make a good team, Rachel adds, apparently ready to stay with you a while longer. Congratulations! You've completed this initial Vermin Extermination quest. Let's go ahead and reward your party with some bonus experience points. Each hero earns 100 experience points. There is nothing more to do here, so feel free to make your way back up to the shop entryway for further instructions. Travel alert, returning to the basement entrance, you take 10 minutes to arrive, paths lead away to the north, east and south, while the stairs will take you back up to the merchant's main floor above. Travel alert, using the doorway, you travel up, taking a few moments to arrive, with Rachel at your side, you're free to go up and down the stairway to the basement here as often as you wish. Travel alert, using the stairway, you travel west, taking a few moments to arrive, and that's a wrap regarding this tutorial quest, Vermin Extermination. Naturally, the quest was just a small taste of what the BrowserQuests platform is all about. Expect more quests, modules, and even entire campaigns in the future.